Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, returning once again for another episode of our Dragon's Demand run-through, episode 15. But before we begin, I want to remind everybody out there how they can get in touch with the show as I slightly adjust this camera. Remember, write into the show at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com. Thank you, Jose Zamora. We appreciate you writing in. Also, don't forget, visit the website at rollthehard20podcast.com. Check us out on all of our social media footprints, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those wonderful, wonderful social media places. Yeah, let's just say that. Don't forget, we have a YouTube channel at rollthehard20. Subscribe to us there. Hit that little bell so you make sure you never miss when we populate another video. Also, don't forget, we are currently in the pre-production of our next Delta Green run-through scenario, Future Perfect. And let me tell you, I got the hard slingers of yore. We will be slinging those dice. I know that by the time you see this video, we will have already recorded it. But for me, it's like 48 hours away. I can't wait. And I know you can't wait for this episode either. So you know what? I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I'm just going to say, you know what? Let's warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents episode 15 of our Dragon's Demand run through, the Grayhands Tavern.
How are things going in the north?
Yeah, you're working on the wall, right? Is that where you're going with that, Junior?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it looks
From
like.
Game of Thrones. What's beyond the wall?
Oh God, I want to rewatch that series.
I'm watching it for the first time right now.
Really?
Oh, I'm loving it.
Well, he
God,
finally
I got
turned
through.
a certain age where he was able to start watching scenes like that.
I know. I always had to do the cover the eyes, like there's a booby.
I watched through, I think like season 5.
Oh, that's when it gets good.
Yeah.
And then season 6 is when it doesn't.
Oh, really? Is it? I figured
No,
it probably
I'm
did
just-
have
I'm it
like
just
a dead
fucking around.
season.
You know, a lot of people lambasted the last season. I didn't think it was that bad, because if you start realizing why things went the way they did, I could kind of see it. And I had somebody online try to explain it via YouTube, and it was just like a little bit. I don't even know if they were on the right trail with that, but it was enough for me to say, okay, I could see where this whole thing went, and then extrapolate from there and say, okay, this is why it was like that. And
Well, didn't
And
they, John, or didn't they say that they tried
spoilers, by the way, everybody out there listening to the show.
No, not spoilers. It's just didn't they say that they fast forwarded or they speed lined it just to because they didn't get the books out or something, or I don't know what it was. They were trying to catch up.
The books didn't get finished, weren't finished being written.
Yep.
And so HBO said, well, we're not going to wait. And so supposedly they spoke with
The author.
George R.R. Martin and said, this is what we have, and what do you have? And I guess they supposedly compared notes, and he said, okay, you guys are that's where I was going to be basically going. So they just took the liberty of going on without him. And I think they did that with the last 2 seasons, actually.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't finish the books yet.
Yeah, and I don't know if he ever will, or if the manuscript's ever written. But there was this one author years ago, and he wrote like the Ninja series, and the guy that wrote the Bourne series, Ludlum, died, and this guy actually took over for him and continued the Bourne series. I guess he had gotten the authorization from his estate and his wife to continue the series. So
She wanted to keep getting paid.
well, basically, yeah. I think
Money.
the guy's name was Lustbatter. I think the guy that wrote the Ninja series.
That
There was
sounds like a porn name.
I know, totally.
Yeah.
It's got all kinds. You know,
Batter.
it was actually, the series was really good.
All right, straight out of Silicon Valley. Here we go.
Very 90s-esque series, though. Anyways, all that being said, fuck it. Well, I want to thank all you guys for joining me on Zoom, and I'll see you next week.
All right.
Just kidding.
Yay.
We
like
ready?
I got a drink to go enjoy.
Yeah.
That's right. Totally.
Go enjoy. I'm
let me-
enjoying it right now.
Let me close up these blinds just a little. Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Let's
Wait,
get this.
wait. We got one important question. What are we drinking tonight?
Who wants to lead this off?
I'm just drinking wine.
Stella.
Stella?
Stella?
I like it. Ryan?
Ryan, what'd you got?
I've got my usual, which is coconut bai with vodka.
Coconut Bai with roofie. Right on.
All right.
Woodford and old fashioned mix until I run out because I'm probably going to. And then as an old standby on reserve, I got what's left of an 805, which was my
Nice.
pre game. What do you got,
Well-
Junior? What are you drinking?
It's Woodford Wednesday.
Yeah. Is it ever anything else?
Mm-mm. Any day that ends with Y.
Why not? Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, and with me, the Hammered Hard Slingers.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to Jose Zamora, not Thulsa Doom's Zamora for all you Conan fans out there, but he recently wrote into the show and says he likes our Dragon's Demand run through. He has been listening to it, and he's local here in Orange County, and he says that he can't wait to see us at one of our live show venues. So that's going to be something that will be on our itinerary sometime in the future, I suppose, right?
Oh wait, I'm gonna have to talk to my agent now.
great.
Let me know.
room.
You can talk to the show coordinator, Nala. Get in here. Anyways, always, by the way, when he wrote into the show, he wrote into our Gmail account at rollthehard20podcast at gmail.com. All you hard fellow slingers out there, please feel free to write into the show at that web email address. Sorry. Man, I had too much of this shit. I'm going to have to back off. Woo! Never going to get this thing handled. By the way, follow us on any one of our social media footprints, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find us on YouTube at Roll the Hard 20. Subscribe to us, hit that little like bell. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Anything else, Junior?
Yeah, for 25 cents a day.
No,
Join our
sorry, Sally
Patreon.
Struthers. It's a buck a month, man.
Oh,
Still can't get
man.
that right.
Oh god.
So I got to extrapolate that 30 days, $1 a day. Yeah.
Gonna be
about-
Patreon.com/Roll the Hard 20 podcast for as little as $1.
3.3
YouTube.
cents a day.
We're not going to break this into a peso, okay? For as little
5
as
pesos
a
a day.
moving on. You blew it, Junior. You're dead to me. Okay, so when we last left off, you guys had begun to explore Belhaim and a little more, actually. You visited the blacksmith Bacchus and his helpers, Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Clyde. You know what that's from?
Three Stooges.
No.
Pac-Man, dude. Pac-Man,
Oh.
the ghosts. You procured a few items from him, and then you watched as he left, saying that he was going to be heading off to Grayhands, which was a tavern. You then headed
And
to...
even invited us.
He did. You then headed off to Delbin's place, dwelling where you had heard a hammer banging late at night as you guys were returning back from the Baroness's manor and returning into the town proper. Warren, now, it had been several hundred years since you had actually walked in Belhaim, and being back on the streets and stuff. Yeah, the streets. This place looks nothing like it looked when you were originally here.
Right.
How does it feel to kind of be in the area that you once knew and yet be
Well,
completely unfamiliar, almost as though it's like a dream of a sense?
it is very much a dream. But Warren was also a fairly sheltered individual growing up. He did not spend much time in the smaller towns. And so it became much more obvious when his good compatriot Stabby had expressed some concerns. which just gave him like a moment of focus and clarity of perhaps he should be a little less ostentatious.
Well, there was a point when you guys were on your way to Delbin's devices, this place that was at the end of the street, and you had asked Stubby to hold out his hand, and he refused to accommodate you. But it seemed like you had asked as a way to build a certain kind of trust with him, but it was rebuffed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then it was Flint Hardbaked who ended up taking the ring from you and holding on to it for a little while. Did you want to give any type of narration as to why Warren had chose to have Stubby use that or hold on to your ring for you, or anything about that you wanted to say, or you want to just kind of keep that close to the chest for now?
Because Stabby had one of the reasons was because Stabby had expressed that concern. I knew that he had a certain level-headedness that would probably serve better, that I had not really had as poignant an example of from Flint or Sirkin, our other companions. And not to say that they aren't perfectly level-headed, it just, we haven't had that exchange yet, so.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the dynamic between you and Stubby play out. Stubby, is there anything you wanted to add to that, or you want to keep that kind of close to your chest as to why you were kind of apprehensive about taking the ring?
I'll just say this. I think I alluded to it and said pretty clearly, during the exchange that, Stubby, he had a rough life up to this point, being a slave. So he's not trusting of most people, and not knowing what Warren's intentions were by placing his hands in Warren's hands. He has to earn and gain and build trust with his party members before he allows those types of things to happen to him.
A little foreplay, huh?
It is a little foreplay.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the dynamics evolve as you guys go through, and in which case you guys had knocked on Delbin's door and spoke with him briefly. He really wasn't in much of a mood to talk with you and basically ushered you guys back out. And what was it you guys want to do at this point as you stand on the doorstep of this individual's business/residence?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's clear that this gentleman is a night owl. I don't believe we have time to wait around, for him to wake up and examine his wares in his shop. We'll get to him later. So I think, I think we really need to look at Hun Clay's residence at this point before we venture into, the mines or the caverns or the quarry, whatever it was. I don't recall. Did we pick up all of our blacksmith items?
I believe we're still waiting for some of Sirkin's equipment to be done.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I look at the party and say, look, folks, I think it's time that we gather our items and make sure we have everything before continuing upon our journey.
I think so too. If we do have to wait for another hour or so, we certainly do have an invitation to relax a little bit. We can avail ourselves of that.
I would agree with that. That maybe we defer an hour, spend some time with the blacksmith. Perhaps he can give us some information that's important to our mission after he's had a few. But he is a half-orc, so he might take a little while to get boozed up.
I look pointedly at Flint at that. Well, it's good that we have, if we're following stereotypes, we've got someone of equal reputation here.
That's right, dwarfy boy.
You look
right.
entirely too pleased.
So, Sirkin, what is your take on all this? As you hear, they're kind of bantering back and forth, trying to decide what their next course of action is. What is it you think you should be doing?
Yeah, Sirkin kind of believes the same thing. It's kind of a dead end staying here right now. Kind of just waiting. So yeah, I agree. Let's go grab around a drink or something like that. Let's talk to the blacksmith. See if we can get more information from him, and then pick up the equipment, and then head on our way.
Okay. So, the last time that you had heard what Bacchus had said, he was heading to Grayhands Tavern, which is back in the. You'd have to go back into the middle of the town, and then head up Devi Road, and I believe it was numbered. The address of that was number 35.
For Grayhands?
35 was the address for Grayhands. Yep.
Grayhands, yes. So you tell me what you guys would like to do.
I think you just nailed it right there.
Nailed it. Okay. So you guys make your way back back along Canticleer Road to where it crosses with a large dirt road. You see that there's Timex General Store not too far away, and you know that Grayhands is north up this Devi Road. You start making your way up there, and you pass several large buildings on the right-hand side, some smaller dwellings on the left-hand side, which is east and west respectively. And then you see this old-looking rundown building. Looks like the shingles are kind of falling off. You see that there's grime and dust on these front window sills, and there's really not much in the way of a door other than a few pivoting panels that appear to be maybe 2 feet tall that are held in the midpoint of the doorway, like the old-fashioned saloon type doors. Now, right now, by the way, right now it's about noon time. So
Can I'd like to roll a perception check and see if I see anybody as observing us from afar.
okay.
Good call.
I'm not going to observe shit, but I got a 6.
Yeah, you're not certain if you see anybody following you or in any of the darkened alleys that are adjacent to like the amphitheater, which is one of the bigger structures right before you get to Grayhands. It's on the eastern side of the road, just before you get to it. In any of the other smaller buildings across the way.
I look to the party and say, look, we need to be on high alert, guys. You know, I've seen twice now somebody observing us from the shadows. So we need to watch our backs, especially when we enter into Grayhands.
Agreed. There's actually a question that I have for all of you. But I think it would be best when we're when we're not in the middle of the road here. As I say that, I'll take a quick look around myself and pretend and probably somewhat fail to be like inconspicuous about looking what's around. I have a feeling that Stabby might just facepalm a little bit.
Okay.
But I did get a 13.
Looking around.
Yeah,
As far
just a perception check.
You know, it's really difficult to tell because now we're starting to get into more of the afternoon of people milling about, but it does look as though there's somebody across the way. Looks as though he's looking at a building, but occasionally he kind of looks back into the street, looks up a little bit to the north, and he's almost more southern on the western side of the street. But occasionally he looks in your direction and then kind of looks back to what he's doing as though he's taking into account whatever's going on through the windows of this Leatherworks shop.
Could be a health inspector.
He's like this. He's like,
What's inside this window here? All day long.
okay. All right, I say we continue to Grayhands.
Okay. As you enter, you see that it's pretty dark compared to the outside light. You see that there are maybe 6 patrons inside. You see Bacchus at one part of the bar, one end of the bar, and he's already got like 3 empty mugs in front of him. You see at some of the tables that are in the middle of the room, there's 2 people at one, another person at another. You see a barkeep behind the bar, obviously, and you see an old man at the other end of the bar, away from Bacchus. And he looks like he's probably got 5 empty mugs in front of him.
Oh shit. Okay, as Flint walks in, he would like to get, as we're walking into the building, I want to make a quick perception check and see if there's any other exits other than the front door. That is 16.
16, you notice that there is a set of doors that are behind the bar, but not directly, but to the north end of it, as though you would walk around the bar and then immediately turn to your left. So you're not against the back of the bar wall, but it's to the left of it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's at the end where Bacchus is at, by the way.
You say that the doors are where Bacchus is sitting? The other set of doors?
It's just a single door. But
Single
if
door,
the
okay.
bar was sitting against the eastern wall, Bacchus is at the northern end, and right on the other side of the bar, against the northern wall, is a door.
Okay.
Sirkin, what would you like to do?
So we're going to turn to Warren. He asked, Warren, is there something that you wanted to ask us? We're inside the tavern now.
Warren will step slightly to the side and say, look, I'm a little out of my element, not to mention a little out of my time. But if there is a means by which we could more subtly communicate with each other.
You mean telepathically?
I certainly don't have that magic.
Hand signals.
Hand signals. I only know the Navy SEALs.
The only drink is yesterday.
Warren makes a hand gesture at Stabby, and then a translucent hand actually appears over Stubby's shoulder and like taps him on one side, and then kind of moves around behind him before he has a chance to actually look, and then taps him on the other shoulder and say, there are various different ways to communicate. And he'll say a couple of harsh
Hail Marys.
Yes, exactly. Now he'll utter a couple of harsher syllables in like common like maybe common words or of like draconic, and he'll say there are, and then switch back to common, there are other ways that we can communicate as well. My knowledge of languages is a little bit more esoteric than most, though, so I do not know what you all have to say on this.
I will gently nod at Warren, very gently, that I understand what he's saying, as not to give away that that we're communicating.
I caressingly nod.
Yes.
Consent.
Knowingly.
Consent. Will you sign this, please?
Yeah.
I would like to cop a feel. Could you please sign this?
Warren, a little worried on if we have established an unspoken word of choosing a language. He says, well, I'm not a man of many languages or many tongues, but I mean, whatever you guys presume would be best.
That's right, hard
safe word?
cookie.
Is that what we're going with?
Safe word.
Santa's got a new bag.
Police.
It's just something I think we should be aware of. if what Stubby has said is true, we have eyes on us more often than not.
So what's the play here, guys?
After that, if nobody responds, then Warren will just kind of like nod, and he'll wander over to the bar, and he'll put a gold piece on the bar and look at the bartender and says, "What does that get me?
Put a sack at you? What?
What does that get me?"
Oh,
A gold coin. What alcohol does that get us?
well, to get you damn near the entire middle shelf for a gold coin. But are you looking for something in particular, my
Well,
friend?
if it's the whole middle shelf, then what does that get us on the top shelf?
It'll get you two of the best drinks up on the top shelf. Imported
Then-
directly from Magnamar.
I'm assuming Magnamar is a name that Warren would recognize.
He would. It's been around for many, many years, thousands of years. It's a very high-end metropolis area that's part of the Inner Sea region. It's on the west coast of the Inner Sea world. A lot of commerce comes and goes from there.
Okay.
Now, whether or not that booze is actually from there,
I will do an insight check. Not
All
that I'm
right.
terribly great at it.
sure.
Oh, hey, that's an 18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
He looks as though he's speaking a genuine truth to you.
Excellent. So I put down 2 more gold coins, and I say, how about we do 5 of those, and you can keep one for yourself. You can keep an extra one for yourself.
Well, that's most appreciative of you. You see him kind of scratch his liver spotted bald head, take the coins, and he lays out 4 glasses and gingerly after he takes a
Oh.
bottle, gingerly
Just for reference,
Yes.
Warren is asking for 5 drinks with 3 gold pieces. Since he
Yes.
said 1 gold piece is worth 2 of those. Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So he gingerly pours it in, making sure he doesn't spill anything, and he slides them across to you. And he says, let me know if I can be of assistance for anything else, please. Hey, Bacchus, how you doing down there? And he makes his way down to the end of the bar. From the southern end of the bar, you see this old man. He looks very leathery, wearing type of denim overall type clothing, as though he's some kind of a handyman of sorts. He looks down. Hey, Shay, you feeling so generous? I'm kind of running low on my ducats a little here, and be much obliged if you could top me off, stranger.
I look at him, and then I'll look at Stabby, and I'll kind of like raise an eyebrow.
I look at Warren and just kind of whatever, and I move my drink towards the gentleman at the end of the bar. Stabby is not much of the drinking kind, especially now, considering that he believes that the group is being followed, and he wants to be have all of his faculties and wits about him. So I will take the glass and walk down to the other end of the bar to the gentleman.
He grabs it very appreciatively, and he says, "Ooh, I haven't had one of these in a very long time." He takes just a sip of it, not pounding it back at all. But you could see he's already bloodshot eyes. His posture has already suffered for who knows how long he's been sitting in this bar.
Warren will pass a drink to Flint and one to Sirkin, and then pick up his own and one more, and sit in front of Bacchus, or not sit in front of Bacchus, place it in front of Bacchus, and just kind of like nods in greeting to him, and then turns to his companions.
You look at the bartender, looks at you and looks at Bacchus and like points at you like, "Who the fuck is this guy, huh?"
Yeah,
And,
you fucking guy.
you fucking
Yeah.
guy. Back his door. Don't worry about it. Got his fingers up. They bought a couple of shit from me, and I done them right. Fixed up some of their shit. They're good to go. They're nobodies. Be in and out of Belhaim by the end of the night. Meanwhile, he continues drinking his mead.
Stebby would like to ask the gentleman that he gave the drink to what his name is, and enter into a conversation to try to see if he just starts talking to Stebby.
Well, how you doing? My name's Gregor.
Nice to meet you, Greg.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the drink. I appreciate it. It's been a dry morning, you know. I ran out of coin a little while ago, and I was wondering if I was going to have to get back to work or not. And glad I didn't have to.
Gregor, where do you work? What type of work do you do?
Mason's Guild Hall, man.
Mason's Guild Hall. What do you do there?
We build shit all day long. Buildings, houses, everything. You name it, we pretty much built it all.
Here in town only, or do you venture outside of Belhaim?
No, we just do it in Belhaim. People, basically handyman kind of stuff, you know. I run the place, but lately time's been a little dry, unfortunately.
Why dry?
People leaving Belhaim. Nobody wants to buy anything here. Nobody wants to repair anything. They'd rather leave, save the money, move out of town than stick around, especially with all this foolish kobold crap.
Do you believe that's why people are leaving town? Is because of the kobolds?
I believe people are leaving town because there's no money left. I mean, everything's basically dried up. We haven't been able to get any of the limestone out of the quarry in who knows how long now. We got whatever took over the quarry. These kobolds totally preventing us from going and draining the thing. I mean, yeah, I'd have to say people leaving town. The one reason why I ain't making no coin.
Interesting. What do you think if the kobolds were gone that it would change the fortune of yourself and the town? Or is there something else that is keeping this town from flourishing?
Who knows? I mean, one thing could beget another and feed it along the line. I suppose if the kobolds were gone, we would be doing better. But I mean, that's just small pebbles in a pond right now. I mean, look at this place. This place has been around for a couple 100 years, and ever since that quarry got flooded, nobody wants anything to do with Belhaim. We're like on the ass end of the world right now.
Why don't
people would rather go to Belkson or Northwall or someplace else like that? Hell, even though Syrian's better than this place.
I will try to wave over Gregor's head and catch Stabby's attention, and just make a gesture of like if the Baroness has a particular mannerism about her that she frequents, or perhaps she has like her hair always done a certain way or something that is very distinctive about her, Warren is going to try to communicate to Stabby in a way to indicate that. He is going to attempt to try to communicate to Stabby of getting an indication of what this person thinks of the Baroness Debbie.
Oh, I see what you're going with. Okay. Make an insight to that, Stubby. You know what he's trying to convey.
I think I'm smelling what he's cooking with a 17.
Good deal. So you pick up on what he's trying to do. He's trying to get you to ask this man what he thinks about the Baroness Debbie.
Stebby is along the same lines of thinking of Warren in this case, that he is interested in this man's opinion of the Baroness. So I look at, is it Gregor?
Yeah, Gregor.
Yeah, sorry.
Gregor Linton.
Linton?
Lenton.
Lenton. Okay. So what do you we met the Baroness when we first came into town, and it seemed like
lucky you.
she seemed like quite the character. What do you think about her?
Got a lot of coin. Got a lot of coin.
So
Like to show all of us how much more coin she's got than us.
So if the town is so down on its luck financially without being able to get limestone, how is it that the Baroness is so flush with cash? What do you think?
Well, it's obvious she comes from a long line in her family that made a lot of coin over time. I mean, she didn't just happen into this town. She was born into the regality of this town. That is a word, right? Fuck it. It's my word. I'm going to make it my word. The regality of this town. And I'm telling you right now, her daddy was born in this town as well. And they all came from money. You know, after Tula, God rest his soul, that dragon slayer. Rock on. 69, dude. After she died, the Devies took over this town. And they've been gangbusters since. I mean, it was good for a while, sure. But she likes to let us eat cake. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that she wouldn't be more interested in this town being more financially prosperous? It seems like that this town is teetering on the edge of collapse. What good does that do the Baroness if the town collapses?
I'm sure she has every intention on bringing prosperity back to Belhain. But the reality is that she can't get to the quarry. Nobody's going to get to that quarry with those kobolds out there. I'm telling you that right now. That was the number one influx of coin to Belhain. And she had some great ideas about draining that quarry. But it ain't nobody going to drain that quarry. Oh, and I said, can I get another one of these? Hey, yo, half elf, you going to drink yours?
Yeah, has Sirkin already drained his?
You going to drink that thing or what's going on? Pass it on down to daddy.
Be gold to the bartender and nods. Could you
highly
get
degrading to
one?
lick the bottom of a shot glass, but I'm not above it. I'll do it, I swear.
I can't tell if this is acting or is this real thing.
Right? Is this Brian or is this Gregor?
I'm not sure anymore. There's a quite fine line.
We split hairs on this podcast. And he's like, she's got every intention on pouring some finances into this town, but she's never going to get near that quarry. I guarantee it. Not with those kobolds there. So all her good intentions are just tears in a bucket. I mean, you take that hung clay.
So I know that,
man. What?
So I know that Gregor is inebriated, but is there? Can I do a perception check to see if what he's telling me is genuine or not?
Insight.
Sorry, insight check. Rolled a 13.
He seems genuine from what you could tell.
Okay. So I say to Gregor, what if I was to tell you that the Baroness has a plan for clearing out the quarry?
A plan? This is just stem up overnight? I don't get it.
What if I was to tell you that she has hired a party of individuals to clear the quarry out of the kobolds?
I would say that's probably the best plan she's come up with in a long time. You see his eyes start to get a little more clear at that. So now what are you telling Gregor here? I didn't hear anything about this, and I know you're not part of the community, so you wouldn't be at no town meetings or anything like that, but what would make you say something like that?
Just as we've come through town, we've heard some rumors that there's some folks that may be clearing the quarry. I don't know if it's true, but where we heard it, it seemed like legitimate, genuine information.
From my understanding, several people gone missing by the kobolds, and I think that'd be a good place to start to make this town right again. Bring back the power.
I thank Gregol for his time, and I hand him a gold piece. He seems to be a little down on his luck, so I hand him a gold piece.
Oh, baby, great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, bartender, one of those top ones. And you see the bartender come over there and, stupid Gregor, don't you have to be working? Fuck it, I might as well give you another one. Ain't no way you're going to go back to work today. Smash your hand with a hammer or something. You see him pour one in, take the gold coin away. Make a perception check. Everybody.
Everybody.
Because I'm assuming you're all watching this. Warren.
Warren only has an 8. He's probably actually taking inventory of the top shelf while he's contemplating the ramifications of what he's overheard Gregor saying.
Stubby.
I rolled a 1, but with halfling luck, I get to roll again. Perception, right? Yeah, perception. Rolled a 9.
9. Sirkin.
18.
18. Flint.
19.
19.
Glad we have something resembling a
Flint, you and Sirkin noticed that the bartender only filled his shot glass halfway.
Gregor
And he looks at you two, basically like, don't you fucking say a word, man. Don't you say a word. And he walks down back to the other end of the bar next to Bacchus. You see Greg will take his glass, shoot it down, wipe off his mouth. In the meantime, you see the other two patrons that are sitting at the table get up, leave a couple silvers on the table, and walk out. So it's basically you four, Bacchus, Grego, and the bartender at this point.
I'll sit down at a table with my drink, which Warren has been very lightly nursing this whole time. If it's like just a shot glass, he's probably only about a third of the way through. And we'll basically wait for the rest of the party either to like decide that it's time to go or to...
It's a compulsion not to drink the whole thing because it's just so smooth, you know? There's zero aftertaste, zero bite to it at all. It's exactly what you would want in some kind of a liquor of some type. Oh, look, my wife's calling me. It sounds like I'm recording, right? You want to know what I'm doing? Check me out. Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Anyways, you hear Gregor mumble something, and it's very difficult to make out from where you guys are at this point.
All right, I will finish my drink and ask for another from the barmaid.
A bartender, man.
Bartender.
Got something to choke you with this thing.
Don't get your panties in a bunch.
He's not nearly so nicely shaped as a barmaid.
Yeah. And I'll join Warren down at the table. We're not sitting with Bacchus, right?
No, he's standing up at the bar.
Oh, Bacchus is at the bar?
Yeah, he's at
Warren,
one end of the bar. Gregor's at the other end of the bar. Warren went to the table that was one of the three tables that are there. I don't know if you went to the one that just recently vacated or not. So
All right. I thought he was at a table by himself. Bacchus was. All right, so I'll just wait for my drink and then ask Bacchus. So how's our gear coming along?
should be fine. Did you talk to Huey?
No, not yet. We were told to come find you at the Grayhands.
He's tight. He'll make it right for you. Everything you needed. Just as though I was there. We
So
work
your
on the
friend-
same wavelength, man.
Ah,
All
so
day
Oh,
long.
really?
you put your apprentices' craftsmanship as well as yours then.
No, but it's damn close. You want me to work on? You can't afford me to be at that forge. But I appreciate the sentiment just the same. But I give you my word, you'll have no problem with your items.
Speaking
Either
of
the
craftsmanship,
shield or the chainmail or the daggers or anything else you needed.
perfect. Listen, I had a few questions that we might have not been able to ask you earlier. We've heard quite a few parties try to clear out the quarry.
Cat scratching at the door.
Luna, have any word of what might have happened to them ever received back to town?
Party's going out to the quarry. Ain't nobody come back from that quarry. In fact, the Baroness, she's asked several times that those residents move away from that side of the bridge and get closer to town to be safer, but some damn hard heads out there.
I might not be familiar with the lay of the land, but aren't the only residents on that end of the town are the sorcerer and the Baroness herself, along with the buried dead?
Well, there is that, and there's the old leatherworks out there. Sorry. Who the hell's out that way? There's a farm out that way.
Who
They
might have
refuse to come back on the side of the bridge, but yeah, that's who's out there.
Who might own that barn?
The farm itself is Pasara Odeo. We try to get him to come back. He's just a hard head. You know, it stems from his daddy.
Has his daddy been heir to that land for long?
And his daddy and his grandpappy owned that land, and there was a time when they could go and get the limestone first. They were always first on the limestone. And I don't know, he's hoping someday maybe one of the gods will come down and dry up the quarry. He'll strike it rich again. Till then, he's making nothing but furs out of squirrels and badgers and shit like that. Idiot. Tries to sell me it for making armor out of that crap. What a moron.
All right. As
Hey, Grayhand, another round. I'm my friend
no,
here,
no.
the dwarf.
Oh no, I do insist. And Flint will
No, you're
actually-
buying this round, dwarf, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Another round on the dwarf.
And as Flint receives his drink, he'll bid him a good day and head back to Warden on the empty table to.
Oh, where are you going
go
with
in.
that drink? That drink's mine.
No, I have my own. You have yours. It's on its way.
Thank you. Shit's gonna be ready soon. Grappling hook, right?
Climbing cleats, but yes.
Same shit, different bucket. Come on, Swirlo, give me another round. You see Grayhands walk over. I told you not to call me that. Pours him another round. Do you have someplace to be? Meanwhile, Gregor, he looks at you, Sirkin, and he says, You're a quiet one, aren't you, half-elf?
Yeah, just kind of observing right now. A little tipsy.
I don't know if I like being watched. You watching me, half-elf? As bad as that fucking Hunclay. Every stone I put on that fucking building. That old bastard touching, feeling, watching. Gods be damned with him. Warren, you and Stubby, you guys are at the table watching this exchange of this old man yelling at one of your comrades for like no reason, completely unprovoked.
How far away is the bar from where Warren is sitting?
12 feet, 15 feet.
Awesome. So Warren makes a little gesture down.
Fireball.
If only. Give me a few levels. No, Warren makes a gesture below the table where maybe Stabby can see, but hopefully nobody else can. Right. And then a translucent hand pulls a bottle that is on the lower shelf on the farthest side from the barkeep and just knocks it off the shelf.
So is that the end where Greggle's at, or where Bacchus is at?
No, the opposite end, the furthest out of line of sight. Just a bottle goes crashing.
Okay, so that's by the northern door.
Sure.
You see Grayhands turn. What the fuck? And you see him run down. He actually goes out the door thinking maybe somebody had came in and tried to grab something. And so at this point, the barkeep has left Grayhands. You see it's just Bacchus, Grego, and the four of you. And Bacchus is all, you know what? I'm out of here. And he pounds his drink, looks around, sees nobody coming back from the back door, grabs one of the bottles off the lower shelf, and actually leaves the front door. You didn't say anything. I'll give you a discount. Stupid tourists. And walks out the swinging doors, leaving the four of you and Grego by himself.
Where is Grego still at the bar?
Yeah, he's down at the southern end of the bar.
And where Stabby is still close to him. Or no, I'm at the table with Warren.
That's correct.
Are we to Grego's back? Okay. So I've been watching this exchange and the way that he treated Sirkin. Stabby gets up, draws his rapier, and comes up behind Grego and holds it to his throat and says, I'd appreciate if you would speak a little kinder to my friends. I was kind to you, bought you a drink. I don't appreciate you being rude to my companions.
Easy. Meant no offense. It's all right. Just answering some questions. Feeling a little run down. It's okay, man. Times are tough. You don't want to do this.
I pushed the rapier a little bit into his neck a little bit and said, you don't know what I want to do.
Let me tell you, Sheriff Ben Hovey, he won't dig this. Relax. It's all cool. What can I do for you? You want me to buy your next round? Meant no offense. Just a little down right now, you know? All things being equal.
So I ease up on my rapier at his neck and I said, I overheard you say that you may have done some construction on Hunclay's manor. What can you tell me about his residence?
Before he answers, I'll try to kind of catch one more time Stabby's eye and motion toward the door that the barkeep was out of, and kind of gesture to the main entrance with a come on gesture to both him and Gregel.
Like you want them to follow you out the door?
I think it would be better if this conversation was continued on the road, possibly in the direction of Hunclay's manor.
He is completely clueless to what you're indicating at this time.
That's fine. My gestures were not to Gregel, they were to Stabby.
Okay, Stubby?
Stabby looks at Gregol and says, we need to finish this conversation outside. I want you to take us to Hunclay's.
What conversation are you talking about, man?
The conversation so I take my rapier and I push it a little bit more into his throat.
Hold on a second. Shit, hold on
conversation-
a second. I'm almost done.
I give Stabby the signal.
I grab Gregor's arm with the rapier still at his neck and motion him off the chair and towards
It's
the
cool.
door.
It's cool. Where we going? Where we going?
I look at him square in the eyes and says, "You're taking us to Hunclay's Manor."
Oh, I'm not going back there. Fuck that. You can kill me right here in the street. I'll never go back into that old man's house again.
I kind of imagine at this point that Stabby has kind of like prodded Gregor at least to a standing position facing the door. And Warren will just kind of be like just like measuring like a few gold coins in his hand, just like. And
Okay, I can tell you shit I know about it, but I'm not putting one fucking foot in that house. No way.
Flint at that time will try to persuade him. Listen, kind sir, we have offered you multiple drinks, and the least you could do is
one drink.
No,
Well,
actually,
as
you've had 2 drinks from us.
You see this? This is one.
Don't make me give you a third.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Shaka. Look,
we only ask you to take us to his lands. You've done work there as his handyman. And
I'll tell you what I know about it, but there's no fucking way I'm going into that house.
Then do not.
I heard
go
about
into
the dead
house.
kobolds on the doorstep. I'm not going near that door.
I will stride over to Gregor and like kind of like, because I imagine with I just have this mental image of like Stabby standing on like a stool behind him with a rapier like and I will say,
I'll cut
look,
I'll cut you.
don't go into the manor. Walk with us there and tell us what you know on the way and answer our questions. And once we get there, then you might have a few more drinks when you get back here.
Sirkin, you're watching these guys strong arm this old man. He's got gnarled hands, weathered, old. Could almost be your grandpa if you were full human. What do you think about this?
Come on, Sergen, we could take him.
Yeah. How close is Sirkin to like this encounter?
He's probably like 10 feet away. I mean, shit really got out of hand real fast. As soon as the barkeep and Bacchus left, I mean, it immediately, within like 5 seconds, everything escalated immediately to this point.
Okay.
It just got real.
Sirkin's kind of like sick of it, so he walks over to Gregor, kind of grabs him by the collar and kind of pushes him out towards the front door.
Damn!
Come on, Gramps, let's go.
I'll tell you what I know. I swear to God, I'll tell you what I know about Hunclay's Manor.
And walk and talk. Let's go.
Fucking A, you're killing me. What do you want to know?
What
First
can
off-
we expect? What can we expect to encounter inside?
Look, that old
First
crazy man was very specific about how he wanted his house built, this manor. Very detailed. And of course, some of the details still escape me, especially in my, forgive me, my condition. And you see, he's still got the fucking glass in his hand.
Again,
Does the
is
DM
this
still has a
character or
glass in
is
it?
this kid-
What's that, Junior?
Again, is this character or Brian here?
It's like, we
Little
built that
column A,
man.
little column B.
Right. We built that manor 7 years ago. And I guess Balthus, I could call Balthus now. He's dead, right? He ain't gonna come back, right?
Should always respect the dead.
Whatever. He gave very specific instructions to the building of this thing. That all stones would be 2.5 feet thick. Give me smoke. And he inspected each one of those stones with his hand and touched each one of those stones.
What
He
were
paused-
the
he
stones made
paused.
out of?
He pauses for a minute and says, they were shipped in. He had them shipped in. They were not from the quarry. You know, the way he had this thing built, the floor plan, fairly simple, straightforward, doors, hallways, fireplaces, windows, you know, the typical. I did hear a rumor, though, that after we were finished with the bones of the manor, he employed some outside laborers. This is a strange part, because these laborers never stayed in the town. They never came into the town for supplies. I'm the number one supplier of anything in Belheim, and they never came to me for anything. And then one day it was finished. That's it. Done.
Did
You
they
think
leave
it-
Belheim during this time?
Nobody ever really saw him. They saw him come in, cross the bridge, and nobody saw them come back across. You know, you think a job like that, they would need something, at least food. They were there for weeks. Nobody
You
saw
mentioned-
them alive again.
You mentioned dead kobolds on his doorstep. Now, did he kill kobolds that attacked his home, or did someone?
It just happened yesterday when the witch tower blew up. Mule and Hod, the deputies, they went to his manor. There were 2 dead kobolds on his doorstep, charred to a crisp. Don't you know about that? You'll not get me to touch anything in that house, or even the house itself. It's cursed. Cursed. Cursed.
Do you have the blueprints for this home that you built?
I do. I could sketch something out for you.
No,
It's
I don't
been
want the
seven-
sketch. I want the originals.
He took them. He took them. I'm sorry, but if we go back
Can-
in, I'll
Can I do-
sketch out what I remember.
Can I do an insight check to see if what he's saying about sketching it out is legit?
Sure.
I like to hit on that as well.
19.
He is scared shitless of you, and he is 100% truthful.
I'll look at him and kind of like, because I imagine like we've been basically walking in the direction of Hunclay's Manor, and I'll kind of stop everyone for just a moment and I'll say, I'll tell you what, I will give you 1 gold now. You provide us a sketch. I will give you 3 gold. If we use the sketch and it proves useful and beneficial to us, we will give you 6 more gold. That will be 10 gold total for you. Think of how many drinks that can get you.
And
I'll
hookers.
give you what I
Zero
don't have.
gold.
Hmm?
I'll draw you the sketch. That's all I can do. I can't
That-
give you any more.
That is fine. I am saying that you will get a very nice additional if the sketch that you provide us truly aids us. So, any notes that you can think of, if there is something that you think of that is unusual, aside from perhaps the size of the stones, as you mentioned, make a note of that. Let us know that. If it
see
is
him-
useful, you will have enough gold to keep yourself in your cups for a couple of weeks.
As you're talking, he leads you back into the Grayhands Tavern. You see, Grayhands is once again back behind the bar, and he's like taking inventory on the bottles behind the bar, and he's scratching his head. Doesn't know what Bacchus has done. And you see Gregor take like a napkin, some kind of piece of paper to he starts, he pulls a pencil out from behind his ear and starts sketching something out really quick. He's like, look, I don't know what this is worth, but here. And he hands it to you, and he extends the other hand. Pay me so I could get the hell out of here.
I'll give him 4 gold.
He takes it and leaves. And that sketch is now on your Discord. And I'll see you guys next session.
Should have murdered him.
He's an old man. Is that what you think of me when we're at work?
Oh, fuck, I was close, man. I was about
An insight.
I was about
Oh,
to
shit.
have a pinch.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and iHeart Radio. And if you like what you're hearing, please leave us that 5-star review. You could also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com. And be sure to check out the galleries. We got a lot of really interesting stuff posted there. And finally, join us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast. There are ways for you to help out the show and pick up swag. So until next session, keep your dice warm and your glass full as you roll those hard 20s.